Hi there, Leisl here again. It's that time of the week when we look at another proverb from a woman's perspective as part of our Reedy's focus on Proverbs wisdom in times of uncertainty. This week I'm looking at a proverb that's not particularly flattering to women. Proverbs 27:15. A quarrelsome wife is like the dripping of a leaky roof in a rainstorm. Not nice. Back in our first ministry, when our girls were little, we lived in a church house that had a sunroom, family room extension at the back. It was a great room, it was large, and we did most of our living out there. The TV was there, and because it was off the kitchen and wasn't a carpeted floor, we also had most of our meals out there with the high chairs, just in case food was thrown off the high chair or dropped. It was easy to clean up. The flooring was actually wooden parquetry, lots of small individual rectangles of wood, all laid individually to create a pattern. I loved that floor. Over the years we lived in that house, whenever it rained, something to do with the overlap of the old roof line to the newer roof, it hadn't been done correctly, and that room apparently had the slightest leak. It was so small we didn't notice it until after many years, obviously it had started before we even lived in the house. Water had somehow gotten under the parquetry and destroyed the glue. So bits of wood started coming loose and popping out of their perfectly laid positions. It became a real problem when Chelsea, who was about 6 months and teething, thought a piece of cut wood would be great. It was the same size as a rusk, and it would be great to stick in her mouth and suck down and chomp on it with her sore, swollen gums. I continued to pick up those loose ones, but so much damage had been done, more kept popping up until the roof was repaired and the floor replaced. When I read this proverb, that story came to my mind with the analogy of a slow, leaky roof, which goes unnoticed at first, but eventually ends up causing serious damage and is costly. Solomon writes quite a number of these sorts of negative proverbs about women. Better to live in a desert than with a quarrelsome and nagging wife. Or another one, better to live in the corner of a roof than share a house with a quarrelsome wife. He wrote all this advice to his son for when he is considering a wife. It kind of makes you wonder who was the nagging woman in Solomon's life. Now, although these passages say wife, this advice is relative to any relationship where we get to the point we become nagging and or quarrelsome or argumentative. It could also be mums toward children, particularly teenagers, children toward mothers, fathers to wives, fathers to their children, housemates, close friends, and even employers and employees. I actually find this verse a bit confronting one, even though the advice is straightforward. Don't be argumentative and don't nag. It's probably because it's a little too close to home for me. I can often be a little bit naggy about all those little annoying habits that my family exhibit, especially David. I know, I'm sorry, I probably shattered your belief that he is perfect, and mostly he's amazing. But there's always those little annoying things I find myself reminding him of daily. Do the reminders help? Well, no, not really. Otherwise I wouldn't have to keep saying them every day. But instead, I'm in danger of becoming that slow, drippy, leaky roof that allows the water to get in and start doing damage from the inside of our relationship by affecting how David thinks of me. Here's some facts about nagging I found on the net. People who nag often don't even realise that they're doing it. They believe they are helping the other person improve. The one nagging falsely assumes they are changing the other's behaviour. forgetting only God can truly change another's behaviour. Isaiah said, "We are the clay, you are the potter. We are all the work of your hand." The constant drip, drip, drip is probably even more annoying than the things we nag or argue about. I mean, who wants to be somewhere where all they hear is constant annoying drip, drip, drip? It does your head in. And so you can't think, you're not comfortable, and you can't concentrate. No wonder Solomon says it's better to live on the roof or to live out in the desert than with a nagging, quarrelsome wife. The next time you want to nag about something, try to think of this. Proverbs 14:1 says, "The wise woman builds her house, but with her own hands the foolish one tears hers down." Don't be the foolish woman who slowly destroys a home like the slow dripping rain on a leaky roof. Am I really helping him be a better child of God, or am I making him better for my own selfish desires? Ephesians says, "Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace." Perhaps it's my attitude that needs to change. And build each other up. 1 Thessalonians says, "Therefore encourage and build each other up." And finally, and most importantly, show love. 1 Corinthians 13, love is patient. Love is kind. Patience and kindness don't argue and nag. Hopefully looking at things from a new perspective and trying to be more of a noble woman will help you, as Proverbs put it, be your husband's, your child's, your friend's, or your employer's crown. Thanks for listening. Don't be a leaky roof, and have a fabulous week.